All right, guys, in this one, I want to talk a little bit about range masks. This was a topic that I almost considered not doing just because it's just a little bit more advanced for this course, but I think it's definitely worth going over. It's not too complicated, and it can really give you a lot more control over where you are adding your masks and your adjustments. So let's see. In this is an example that we looked at in a prior video where as you can see my standard adjustments here to the photo. I'm not doing too much with this. I haven't made any changes here to the exposure, whites, blacks, or any of that stuff. We've just added the radial filter around the lighthouse. And actually, I think this edge is still a little bit hard. So I think I'm going to kick that up just a little bit. And I haven't made any changes in here. So the example that I wanted to go over with range masks, and you can see the other edit I have is just a graduated filter here coming in from the left to just darken the sky up a bit. But in this example, if you go to exposure, and let's just say, for example, I wanted to lighten up the green colors in this trees and shrubs and stuff like that, and I wanted to target a specific color of green, what I can do is I can start painting. Let's see, I might want to kick the shadows up a little bit here. Got my brush. I guess I'll feather it a little bit. And I'll start painting here. But maybe I only want to pick a specific color of green. And in this case, what I'll do is I'll go to Range Mask, I'll go to Color, and then I'm going to click the eyedropper and select, find a particular shade of green. And then if I click on the circle again, I get rid of the color picker. If you hover over the mask, you can see where the mask is being selected. And if we press O on our keyboard, it'll keep that mask displayed for us as we adjust this. But as you can see, as I bring the range closer to the left, the spill over where the brush is being impacted, if it's all the way up, it's going to be indiscriminate and select everything. But if I start to bring it down, it's only targeted toward that specific color of green that I picked. So let me bring the shadows down a little bit. Let's select O to get rid of the mask, and then start painting again all through here. And what I can do is I can paint and not have to worry about where the brush is going, like if it goes outside of this tree line here, because look, if I hit O, the mask is only staying on this particular color of green. So it's kind of a nifty way to paint some highlights into some areas. And again, I have this effect kind of cranked up here so I can see, and I might want to dial it back just a little bit. And then maybe I'll give it a little clarity as well. You can see a before and after now. See, I've just made the color in the trees in the green here pop a little bit. And I've only impacted just this particular range of green. Maybe I want to keep painting down here a little bit, down in here. And in another example, we can do a similar thing with the ocean over here. I can go New, and then maybe I want to just bring the exposure down a little bit and darken it a bit more. Maybe bring dehaze up a little bit. Let's just see what this looks like. Start painting here. And let's go down to Range Mask again and go Color. I'm going to try to get it in a darker blue section here. And then dial the mask back. Maybe bring this up just a touch. And then I'll click this circle to go back to my brush, and I'll really make it big. I'll just start to paint this in. And if I press O, you can kind of see where that mask is taking place. And if I adjust the slider here, you can see it brings in more of the mask into more of that blue. So it creates almost like a gradient effect as well. So if I hit O again, you can kind of see it kind of brings in this sort of gradual darkness from the ocean. Maybe I'll even dial that in a little bit just to make it look a little bit moody. And then let's see, maybe in another example where we could use this this range mask is on the rocks. And these last two examples I've shown have been with using color, but you can also use it with luminance. In other words, just light and dark tones. So, for example, maybe I want to make the lighter parts of the rocks pop just a little bit more. Maybe I would make a brush where I don't know, bring the exposure up a little bit, maybe some of the shadows. I'll start painting here, and then I'll click range mask again. This time I'll go luminance. Press O on my keyboard so we can see the mask. And if I start to bring the slider here up to the range, so the left part of the slider is the dark tones, and then the right is the light tones. And if I bring this slider up, you can see this range is the range of tones that is impacted by the brush. So as I start to bring up the darks, you can see the mask is only going to be impacting the lighter parts of the rock and not the dark parts. I think this seems pretty good. And I can continue to paint up in here. And you can see it is going to get some of this grass up here. So maybe I want to hold down Alt on my keyboard to erase it a little bit. I'll hit O again to make the mask disappear, and then I can play with my sliders here. You know, maybe I'll brighten the exposure, bring up the shadows a bit. I'm going to erase a little bit down here. There, now you can see well, this is the entire brush before and after. You can see what a difference we've made just by targeting certain tones and colors. You know, you can really bring out the different textures and have control over where the light is falling in your image. So that's the range mask, and you can really do a lot of cool things with it. So that's it for this one. This one's been, actually this one hasn't been as long as I thought it would be. I did go kind of fast there, so if you guys do have questions on this or want to see some more examples at any point, feel free to leave comments. As always, like and subscribe. It's a big help for me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.